Oh, Miss Hazel, can I help you? Is there something you want? Okay, bye-bye. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to do the random number generator determines how many hours I read in a day. I've seen these videos throughout the year, honestly, and I have enjoyed them so much. Like, they are one of my favorite videos to watch. If I see one pop up on my subscription feed, automatically click and watch it. So I figured I should do one because it's so fun to watch. I can also do one myself. So that's what we're gonna be doing. Today's Sunday, so in the generator, I'm going to input a few more hours than I normally would because I am gonna do this over a few days. And when I have a real job, and it's hard to read 8 hours in a day when I have a real job. So I'm gonna make some small tweaks and you'll see as the video goes along, but let's kick it off. Okay, I have the number wheel already filled out. I have 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, and then I also decided to throw in like 40 minutes and 30 minutes just to like spice things up. Okay, the wheel is spinning. Oh my gosh, what do we think it's gonna be? If it's gonna be 4 hours, I'm gonna be a little shook. Okay, it is 3 hours. I'm not mad about that. I actually think that's really doable. So that's gonna be my goal for today. And if I don't get to the actual 3 hours, any hours not completed basically. So say I read 2 hours today instead of that 3, I have 1 hour remaining. That will be rolled over to the next day. I think I'll be able to meet this though just fine. And the book that I'm currently reading is All the Dangerous Things. I'm like 100 pages in, so it would actually be great if I could finish this in this video. I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but I kind of want to I feel like I've been in a little slump. So I feel like this video will help me potentially either find a book I love or like just get through some books a little more quickly. So really excited about this. 3 hours, let's get into it. I'm checking in with you guys. I just paused the timer. As you can see, we are a little under an hour or a little over an hour. I've read for an hour and I'm almost halfway through my book now, which is, I'm eating it up. It's so good, really quick, really short chapters, which I love. I love a short chapter. And we're following our main character, Isabel, and her nickname's Izzy. And she is a mother whose son was abducted a year ago, and we are at that year anniversary mark, and we're jumping right into the story. And basically we're just following her and her actions on how she's trying to keep her case alive and trying to find her son and what happened to him because he was abducted from their home. And that's very, one, already unnerving, but like she's just like, where is he? Like literally no clues. There's like no leads at all of what happened to him. So the year mark has happened and she's still trying to keep the case alive. So she went to this like crime Comic-Con or like crime convention kind of thing, and she shared the story there. People know it. It's a very well-known case apparently nationally as well, but it's the 1 year anniversary, so they featured her as a keynote speaker. She does this. Her husband's really mad that she does this, doesn't like that she's doing this type of like publicity kind of stuff. And then on her flight back home to Savannah, Georgia, because that's where she lives and that's where her son was abducted, she's sitting on the plane, and the person next to her is someone who was at the convention, and he's actually a big crime podcaster host, and he solved a cold case also surrounding a kidnapping. So he's like, she like had no desire to even talk to him, but then some things happen and she decides to give him a call, and so now he's back in the story, and like we're starting to like, I guess, walk through everything, and like he's encouraging her to like maybe think things through differently, because it's very clear our girl has been so focused on like this one viewpoint where she hasn't, I guess, taken a step back. I don't know. So really interesting so far. I have a working theory on how this is going to end, and I'm curious to see if I'm right. I will say with her last book, A Flicker in the Dark, I was like kind of right, but also kind of not right. Like the twist got me. I didn't fully see it coming, and I enjoy those type of thrillers. Those are the ones that I like give 5 stars to, so I'm hoping that this one's a 5 star so far. I'm eating it up. It's really short chapters, which I love, and the premise is good. We are also, I will say, getting flashback chapters, so we're learning more about her character and like her childhood, which there's some unsettling things that have happened in her childhood as well. Like there's a mystery there that we don't quite fully know yet, but like when we get those chapters, it is very clear that something happened and you're like, oh God, like what happened to this girl? Like she's been through it all. So very interesting. And we also just found out a piece of information about her husband slash ex-husband, like when they met and like their love story, I guess. That's all I'm gonna say. Very good so far. This is my one hour check-in, so I'll pop back in later as I start reading again. Hello guys, it's the next day and I wanted to do a little recap of yesterday's reading goal, and I did. I completed the 3 hours easily. I actually read, I think, another hour because I basically had 50 pages left when my timer went off, and so figured I should just, or I had a little more than 50, like maybe 100 pages left, and at this point in the book, things got good, so I had to finish, and I did, which I will say this book took me by surprise in a good way. My theory that I had at the beginning, totally wrong, which like looking back, duh, like that my theory was wrong. I feel like it's been a hot minute since I've read thriller books, so I'm just off my thriller game. Like I was reading it for funsies. I wasn't like reading it trying to like analyze it as I go, because that's usually what I do with thrillers. Like whenever something's mentioned, I'll think about it for a minute and try and like see any theories that pop up. So my theory was totally wrong, which I'm happy with. There was a lot of twists towards the end that I just didn't fully see coming, and I think made it that much more enjoyable. So my rating for this is a solid 4-star. It's not a 5. I think there's just some moments where I was just like, whatever, and I was like just kind of skimming through some of like the inner monologue parts. But the ending was great. The conclusion to the story, great. And I think just like really well done. So I highly recommend checking this book out if you're looking for a quick, easy, fast-paced thriller. With that, we can do my new spin for today, which it is Monday. It's a work day. And I do have Pilates later tonight, so I am gonna adjust the wheel. I'm gonna remove, I think, the 3-hour option simply because I don't want to stay up late. I'm really trying to establish a better night routine, so I'm gonna remove that for now. Oh wait, I'm gonna remove the 3 and 4 hours. I've totally forgot I had 4 hours in here. So I'm gonna remove both of those options, but I am gonna put in like an hour and a half or 2.5 hours, just so that we have some more options and it's not just like 1 hour, 2 hours, 30 minutes or 40 minutes. All right, the wheel has been updated. So let's spin today to see how long I'm gonna be reading. Also, we need to figure out what book I'm gonna be reading. I don't even know which book I'm gonna pick up next. I don't know if it's even romance, if I'm gonna do a reread. Oh my gosh, okay, we got 2 hours today, so not bad. I think I might read a little during lunchtime. That way I'm not too overwhelmed with the prospect of it after my Pilates class. But again, if I don't get to the 2 hours today, like say I only read an hour and a half and I have 30 minutes left over, I'll roll it over to the next day. So we need to start brainstorming of what books I wanna read next. Guys, it's the next day. I'm doing some under eye patches. And yes, I'm wearing the same sweatshirt. Please don't judge. Every week I feel like I pick a sweatshirt that I wear for that week. So yes, I'm in the same sweatshirt that I was in yesterday. But it is the next day and I wanted to give a little update on how I did on reading yesterday. Unfortunately, I did not read for my full 2 hours. So love that for me. I still have about 47 minutes left, so I'll have to read that today on top of what the wheel says I have to also read. So let's go ahead and spin that. Hopefully, I'm really hoping for like 1 hour. That'd be great. So no matter what, I'll have to read 45 minutes, and then I got 1.5 hours. So basically a little over 2 hours of reading today, but I don't have anything going on after work, so hopefully I'll be able to actually read a bunch today. And I got about to, I think, 80-ish, almost 100 pages in my book, which I am reading, The Summer of Broken Rules. This is actually a reread for me, and I was really craving just like a summer romance, silly book. And the vibes in this book I think are spectacular. They give New England, like summer in Nantucket, we're on a rich compound kind of vibes. Like, it's just so fun, and the family aspects are really nice. I did forget though that this book deals with grief very heavily, as our main character lost her sister tragically. So, you know, we're dealing with grief, which I totally forgot was like kind of a main point in the storyline, but it's just so fun. Like, they've announced the game of Assassin, which is really fun to see them like work out their strategy and like all that stuff, and it's just silly. So overall, still having a good time reading this book, and it's still enjoyable. I think I gave it 4 stars on my first read of it, and I think it's still holding up so far. So loving it, and it looks like I'll be reading for almost a little over 2 hours today. I'm using these under eye patches though. Let's talk about them. Love them. I've been trying to be more of like a skincare girly while I'm at work because, you know, no one's looking at me right now. Like, I don't have a call, so I might as well be doing some skincare, like these eye patches. It's also like a little treat. So maybe I'll try and read a little during my, sorry if that sound was triggering. Maybe I'll try and read a little during my lunch break just so that I'm not too overwhelmed, but I'm thinking I'll be able to achieve today's reading goal just fine. That's a check-in, that's the update. Alrighty guys, it is the last and final day of this challenge. It's the next day, and I can confirm that I completed my reading hours for it yesterday, and I ended up getting about 60% into my book. Loving it, eating it up. It was the perfect choice to read. It's just getting me so excited for summer. So we have to spin the wheel today to see how many hours I'm gonna be reading today. Low-key hoping it's not a lot, you know, but we'll see. We'll see what the wheel gives us. The wheel listened. I will be reading 40 minutes today. I might read a little bit longer just because I don't really think there's any shows that I want to watch today on TV, so I might read for an hour or so, or maybe even try and finish the book. But regardless of all that, I will be reading for 40 minutes today, so let's get into it. Alright guys, it's come to the end of the video, and I wanted to recap my reading challenge for yesterday. I did complete it. It was super easy. I actually read a little bit longer because I wanted to finish my book, The Summer of Broken Rules, and that's what I did. My overall review of this still stands at a 4-star. This was a reread and it still holds up. It's so fun and just like silly young adult romance. Our characters very much act like teenagers, and that's how I think they should act. And I feel like sometimes people forget that YA characters are like young, silly, and dumb. And that's exactly what these characters are sometimes. Like, I'm just like, how are you treating your friends like that? And then I'm like, oh yeah, you're barely 18 and you are like still boy crazy. Like, I totally get it. The setting of this book, amazing, spectacular, fun, and I wish I knew a family that had this huge property and we could visit in the summer and play the game Assassin. Like, it just sounds so fun. I can't speak highly enough of this book. If you haven't read it, highly recommend. There is topics of grief in it and like how one deals with it, but I think it's done really well. I didn't have any complaints with it. And if you were looking for, I think, a nice summery vibes, because this is set in Martha's Vineyard, really fun. I mean, you can't get more coastal-y vibes than that. So love, love, love. It's giving the Summer I Turned Pretty vibes. So if you like that, you will probably enjoy this one as well. So solid 4 stars. And then, like in the beginning of the video, I finished All the Dangerous Things. Another great thriller. If you're looking for something quick, fast-paced, short chapters, highly recommend checking this one out. If you also haven't read A Flicker in the Dark from this author, would highly recommend checking it out as well. There's some twisty turns in both of those books that I think are great. Like, you can see maybe part of the twist coming, but not the full twist. And I think Stacey Willingham does a great job at just telling the story and leaving clues throughout her novel. When you finish the book, you're like, oh my God, it all connects and makes sense. So 4 stars as well. So overall, a successful reading vlog or reading challenge. 2 4 stars. One was a reread and then one was new. But that's going to be it for today's video. Like and subscribe, leave a comment on what books I should be reading in the future or add to my TBR, or what videos you want to see. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.